Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Let's Chat About Death, where I have successfully done an intro without being interrupted. Oh, who's that?
It's me.
Oh, here he comes.
Hello. I'm back. Yep. What are you doing?
Doing a podcast.
Really?
Would you like to join us?
Yes. We could go down this road of opening a can of whatever it's going to be.
That sounds good. A can of paranormal whoop-ass.
Yeah. So paranormal is what we're going to talk about today. A lot of people are saying all the time, do you experience anything paranormal within our funeral home? And that answer is
Absolutely.
yes.
Absolutely.
Yes. People say, well, how do you know that it is what it is? Several factors. I'm an empath, so I tend to absorb a lot of that energy. Mm-hmm. And just in case you hear Annie sort of go off the mic a little bit, she's just downed a can of Pepsi Max. So
wow.
And she's going like little burps.
I'm trying to be polite.
Yeah, she's been cracking open the tinnies, downing them. There we go.
We're having our pre-knockoff drinks.
Sorry. Yeah, having knockoff drinks when we haven't even knocked off yet.
I said pre-knockoff drinks.
So, so I'm an empath. I don't know. I hate saying it because it sounds like I'm a big head and a bit of a knob, but I have. Now I'm doing it. Now I've got air.
Are you trying to tell me that you don't have a big head, and that you're not a bit of a knob?
Okay. All right. Who invited you
News
to this
to me.
one? Yeah. But yeah, I tend to. I don't know. Feel the energy, know that someone's there. I don't know. It's just senses, I think's the thing. I don't know all the, they'll say that that's a psychic, blah, 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 or that's there's so many different levels of it.
I think that mine is, I mean, I don't feel if somebody's there, blah, blah, blah. But I notice that my mood changes.
Isn't that normal?
Well, yeah. It is normal, but it's different, okay? Some people that... Oh, I've broken the pen.
Oh, my God.
Better hide that from Chris.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was just going to say that...
Do you want to get that? It's really annoying me. Good. Thank you.
Some people, when I take care of some people, I feel a certain way. Sometimes I'll feel calm. Sometimes I'll feel happy. Oh, I love a chip.
Yeah, there you go.
That was delicious. Thanks. I'll feel happy, which is a very strange feeling to feel when you were preparing somebody for a funeral.
Yeah.
But there are some. I had one day who he felt very. This was back when I worked at my old job. He felt very scared. Like, I don't know how to explain it. I felt like a lingering fear when we were looking after him and we got to his funeral, and it turns out that he was terrified of death. Absolutely terrified. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I think that my thing is just that my mood, obviously moods change.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying, oh, it's him, he's changing my mood, he's making me hungry. Because I'm always hungry.
Yeah.
But it's, you know what I mean? You feel calm when you're with some deceased people and you feel a bit on edge.
Well,
like we did the other day.
Yeah. The other day we had a lovely gentleman that we were looking after. He had a bit of a hard life. Mm-hmm. Suffered it quite a bit with obviously mental illness, and he was industrialized. Institutionalized.
Yeah.
Over his time. Now we're talking about, late 60s, early 70s, man. Back in those days, if you were a little bit, left field, they'd zap you with the brain things. But so he had quite a bit of energy. I can tell you that for a fact. And even I was a little bit hesitant when we were first dealing with him. But then as we got along, it was a sense of that,
He wasn't ready to go.
yeah, like he was deceased, but he wasn't, if that makes sense.
Well, that's what I said to you. I came out and I
yeah.
said to Chris, this one feels alive.
Yeah. And
He was not ready to leave.
but a lot of people are trying to debunk stuff. And I'm the first, I'll tell you that. I am the very first one that will go, nah, that was a fly, or that was, but my abilities, once again, not getting a big head, my abilities are getting stronger and stronger and stronger. So when I see something or feel something, I'll always go, did you see that? Did you feel that? Did you, like, I have quite a bit of equipment, and there's some more that I'm looking to get to. It's like an addiction, pretty much. Once you know that you can make contact with people that have passed, gives you a sense of urge to. Now I'm gonna tell you, I don't take the piss out of anyone. That is not my purpose. I'm not there to antagonize them. I'm not there to rev them up. I'm not there to do any of it. My purpose is to learn their story, to learn about, and where we obviously see this is in our mortuary. So, having seen or feel someone in there, I want to learn more about them. I want them to know that the transition from when they've passed to when they go has been a good one, you know. And I think you were even saying before, either this time or another time, where it was depends on when they passed, you know, and how they passed will differ if it was they didn't want to go. Like,
yeah, it was.
They're going to fight. They're going to be grabbing on with their nails, and they're going to be digging into the bed to make sure that they're okay.
And he really was. I tried to explain to my partner this feeling. My partner, he's very much like, there are things that he can't explain, but he's not. I don't think that he's as spiritual. He's a very logical person. Not saying that we're illogical, but he does everything with logic.
Yeah.
He doesn't often allow himself to experience things, you know, paranormal things, that sort of stuff.
I mean, I know when I first started, even in the business, I knew, look, my head does lots of stuff. I'll tell you that. My head does not stop. And there'll be things that will come into my head, or I'll hear things like even voice, you know, and it'll be like, I don't even know why that came into my head. But it might be I could look at someone and sort of might be depressed, or that person might be had a hard day, or I don't know, just by looking at people I can but not always could tap into that. But when it comes to our mortuary area, you know, just letting you know that she's picking a pen apart. She's already snapped off, you know, the little bit that you put into your pocket, like the thing that says, she's now trying to take far out. Like, people, well done. If she could be on Australia's Got Talent for ripping a pen apart, now it's not.
Now she's fixed it.
Yeah.
She's fixed it with her magic hands.
Let's just see. Oh, magic hands.
Fix the pen.
No, she hasn't fixed the pen. Now it's flicked over somewhere else. But anyway, we've gone off what we were chatting about. So the equipment that I have is for more a scientific level of proving that something is there. Now, we will always do a sweep of the area, not like with a broom.
With the metaphorical broom.
And we're not hopping on our broom and flying away as witches.
Oh, Chris does sometimes.
Yeah, I do.
That's how he gets home.
But we'll always do a sweep of the room to find out if there's any hot spots or magnetic fields around there. Now, a lot of the time it'll be electrical plugs that are connected to like dryers, or you know, you might have 4 or 5 plugs out of the one power board. So that's gonna spike, right? So we know that if we get anything that zooms around there, it's pretty much going to be that. It's just going to be electricity.
We should also mention that the piece of equipment that we're talking about is it's like an electromagnetic sensor.
Yeah, it's called a K2 meter. So for those that ever want to look them up, they're called K2 meters. That does pick up that electromagnetic. The other thing, I call them sensor lights, but they're not censoring anything.
No,
They're not.
They don't sense us.
Now, the sensor lights that I got, I actually just came across. They weren't from a special ghost shop or ghost hunting shop. It was just a shop. It might have even been on Amazon. I don't know where I got them from. But these things we cannot turn on. The only time we can turn them on is if I undo the back and play with the battery and stick it back on, right? Which I do quite regularly to make sure everything's working. So we've got two on one side of the wall, of one side of the mortuary, and then we've got one on the other. Now, I used to always just have one. And I go, all right, so if anyone's here, bang, let us know, turn on that light. Now, I'd be tapping it, I'd be waving my arms, no way it's going to pick me up, and then it would go on. And then someone said, because it's a sensor light, it goes on. And I'm thinking, I'm showing you that I cannot turn it on. So then I put 2 in, same thing. Oh, it's a sensor light, it's going to do it. So then I put 3 in. And I said, so if they go on individually, now what we have done is taken that sensor light out and we've placed it on an area that doesn't tend to have a lot of activity, and they only stay on for 10, 15 seconds, right? Then they go off. These things will stay on for a minute plus, right, depending on the situation of where we're at.
Well, we had one. Remember last Wednesday? We had Nick and I were all in the mortuary.
Yeah.
And we had the little girl in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And all 3 of those ones were on, and they were staying on for minutes at a time.
So with the paranormal side of things, the way that souls can communicate with us, that was a bit funny. What was that?
Was that you?
That was my mouth. Like after I had a drink, like crickets. Apologise for that. Wow, that was my inner demon coming out.
Trying to escape.
Sorry, I'm coming to get you. So yeah, the souls will try to communicate via different frequencies. It's a wasco.
The souls will try to communicate with different frequencies.
Now she's taking the mickey out of me. Yeah, not funny. Yeah.
All right, sorry, continue with your frequencies.
With my frequencies. So they'll try to communicate via those wavelengths or frequencies. And the best way they can probably do that is by utilising those lights. Like I said, we cannot turn them on by ourselves without putting new batteries into them.
I have tried.
It does not work. The other way is via the K2 meter, by coming close to it and making the lights move. They'll tend to draw power from anything, and they can draw power from bodies. They can, like ourselves, they can draw power from mobile phones, video cameras, anything that's got power they can draw from. But it depends on the type of soul that it is if they have the ability or the strength to be able to do it. So for example, a little bub, they're going to be banging off everything, going to go ping, 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 because they've got so much. Even though they're little, they have a huge energy.
And I guess that also comes into it with children, young children being able to experience paranormal activities that they grow out of as well. They've sort of like Bubs had that same energy.
Yeah.
And we hear about it all the time.
Yeah.
Kids growing out of, kids seeing things, kids talking about their past lives.
Yeah.
And then forgetting.
Who are you talking to? Oh, I'm talking to the man here.
Oh, yeah. Like my brother down the end of the hallway. Yeah.
Like, who are you playing with?
Talking to the granddad.
They know it because souls are attracted to innocence. They're attracted to, and if I use the word vulnerability or people that are vulnerable or people that aren't feeling the best or tired, they'll tend to be attracted to that. Compared to someone that goes in there and goes, oh, I'm here to get a ghost and I'm going to do this and I'm going to like.
What's the reason for that, do you think? Or do you know what the reason for that is? Because I would think that they would be attracted to and want to latch onto somebody somebody stronger, who has got more power.
No, but see, you're not that. So that person that is vulnerable isn't thinking strong. Mm-hmm. So at times, if they can't tap into that strong person, they're going to draw energy from you. Mm-hmm. So you might actually lose your energy to the point where you just want to fall asleep, which isn't hard for you. But to draw energy from that person.
Yeah.
Whereas they know that they could waste any energy that they've got in trying to break, say for example, me.
Right? So
yep.
Oh,
you're
so
weak.
they'll waste their own energy trying to tap into yours.
Yeah.
Whereas if I'm tired, it's
like
it's
a lion
conserving.
and sees an injured, zebra.
It's going to go for the injured
It's
zebra
go
rather
bang.
than the
then fight for it. It's like why work harder when you can work smarter?
Exactly right. Although anyone tapping into my energy, I can tell you right now, is not working smarter. If anything, they're working a lot dumber than they started.
So, and that is the news of the week.
Annie is tired and stupid.
And straight for the weather after this.
Back to the studio.
Back to the studio. So, yeah, they'll get attracted to that. What tends to happen with me is I'll tend to be the spokesperson, and I don't know why, but some of the equipment they'll work with me with and some won't. They'll work with like Jess or even with you or others, right? So it depends on who they're being dealing with. Every time you yawn or psst, oh, far out.
That was a yawn. That wasn't.
I don't think that was a good idea to have a Pepsi before we started this, but anyway. Oh. We were talking the other day about the Sprite Challenge, even though that's like 1989, like we shouldn't be doing that, but we need to do it.
We are going to do it. I want to see what sort of demonic noises I can let out.
You will.
I reckon I'd be able to let out some good ones.
So paranormal activity doesn't happen all the time. Like it's not every single person that we get is going to have that connection for several reasons. What do you reckon they are?
Sorry, what was that?
Oh, she's away with the far out.
Off with the fairies. I was listening. My ears just weren't.
You weren't. Because if you were listening, then you wouldn't have to be going, huh?
I was selective listening.
Oh my God. Lovely.
I was trying to think of one that I haven't had activity from so far.
Yeah. So you're going to get people that have lived their life were, if I use the word, were okay to die. So it's so funny. If only people could see you at the moment, like corner of a mouth going, blowing out this air. I need to get some degas or something and swallow.
It's either that or it comes out my nose.
And we certainly don't want the other end, do we?
No.
None of that. So, yeah, you'll get, say, some of the older people that we get have already lived their life. They're okay. Yep. They're happy. Their guardians have taken them. They're quite happy with that.
Yep.
Then you'll get the people that are young that have either died just dramatically or, just bang, done. And they're going, whoa, hang on. No. And they'll and they will not fight like fisticuff, but they will say to their helpers or their guardians, hey, I'm not going, brother. No, I'm staying here. Like, you can't get me yet.
And I think that was our situation that we had over the last few days.
Yeah.
Because it's been a few days.
Yeah. I don't want to go. I'm quite happy. But you get a feeling that someone's there, right? Mm-hmm. It's a weird thing. The temperature of the mortuary changes. Now, I keep saying it, but people go, But that comes down to if it's hot or it's cold. No.
I think that what people don't understand about our mortuary is that so we are in a factory type setting.
Yeah.
And we've got a big roller door. Yeah. And the wind blows through and blah 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 blah. So a lot of the time in the rest of the area it's quite cool. But the mortuary is, first of all, it's down, it's sort of, I'm trying to explain this.
Spit it out.
There is a part, the back half of the factory is separated by a curtain, and then we've got our cool rooms, and then we've also got our mortuary and our trim area where we, do all of the coffins. The mortuary is behind a curtain, walled, first of all, and it's got plastic door flaps like you would find it at like a noodle box.
Yep.
And those keep the cool out. So the mortuary is always the warmest
You made
part.
me hungry.
I'm so sorry.
Noodle box.
I'm not going to lie to you. I'm probably going to that noodle shop in Cranbourne on my way home. But
knocking a few teeth out.
But the mortuary is usually the warmest part of our premises.
Yeah.
Because of its location, how sort of secluded and closed it is compared to the rest of it.
But when it gets to like we're talking cold, like colder than it's nearly to the point of that you might as well go and stand in the cool room. Mm-hmm. Like it can get to that.
When the cool room is warmer than outside.
That's right. Yeah. So, you I don't know. I call it a buzzing, like it's a staticky type feel. And there's nothing wrong with my plugs or anything else like that. They're all being tested and tagged. But I know someone's there and I'll say, I know you're here, right? I think that's the first thing, because a lot of souls don't know how to reach out. No. Well, they don't know if it's appropriate to reach out or not. Mm-hmm. But if they know, until you say, oh, hey, I'm here, or they can sense you, they feel you that you have that ability, then they'll reach out to you. Now, we had with this gentleman the other day where, not that he was playing games, but I think he was just trying to find his own footing, and he'd showed himself like
on the lights
with a light,
not like an apparatus.
So he
turned on the lights.
He turned on the lights, and we go, okay, all right, great. If that's the way that you want to communicate with us, I mean, it's hard when you ask a question. It's either yes, no, or turn lights on, turn lights off. I've got all the other tools and equipment that can hear voice if it goes through like it's called a spirit box, so it'll go through different AM or FM frequencies, front and back or reverse, and then somewhere it'll come out with some words. So that's another way that they can do it. So we were asking questions, and you'll watch these ghost shows, and I'll tell you now, most of them are just full of rubbish or crap. Because all it is about ratings. All it is about going, oh, did you hear that? Like, and give that look to the camera like you're scared. But show us. And there's a few paranormal people out there that I really admire and respect for what they do. Firstly, because they don't take the piss out of anyone. Like, you think about a lot of the asylums and things like that are happening. We know that they're haunted. We know that they've got people there. But these people are antagonising them. They're taking the piss out of them. Yep. They're stirring them up just for a buck.
Yeah, and to first of all already be in an asylum, that is terrorising enough.
Yeah. Now, what I'm saying is, like, I'm not saying that all asylums are like it. Okay, full stop. Or a lot of paranormal people are like that. It's. I'm not saying that, but I just believe that. There is quite a few that all it is about, is that, and they have no idea what's going on out there. They've got no real connection to anything. They just think it's quick and easy. I can easily make something go bang at the back, have a staff member there to do it. But I can tell you, whatever happens in our mortuary is legit, all right? And I have enough, like I said, bells and whistles in there to document it. Both video, audio, and obviously the visual side. So this guy, just to go back with this guy, showed himself on the lights. We knew he was there, slowly asking questions. Because what you got to remember is that these souls are having to communicate via different, like different frequencies. It's not like you and I where we can chat.
No.
It doesn't happen like that.
It takes a lot more energy for them than it does for us.
Yeah, yeah. So when you see on what we were saying before, when you see a lot of shows, they'll go, "Does anyone out here want to talk to me? Who is it? Are you male? Are you female? Are you this? Are you that? Are you the little boy?" They might show up a light, but they're answering yes that someone is here.
Yeah, not yes, I'm a little boy.
Not yeah. So that's when you get a false reading.
Yeah.
But I think the biggest thing is letting these souls know that they're respected, and I always protect ourselves before we ever go into a situation like that. I used to do it quite verbally, like in front of everyone, but now I do it in my head to our spirit guides, or Archangel Michael is the protector that we call out to, so we don't get affected by any negative entities. And so these souls can communicate with us. Yep. For those that have, if you do or you don't follow us on TikTok, so Bremba Family Funerals, have a look. We've got some videos there of orbs. What are orbs?
Orbs are buzzing little souls.
Yeah. So they're manifesting souls. So energy or matter can manifest anything that it wants to. So for a soul to manifest itself into an orb is quite full. That's and some of the ones that we have captured on camera have been the most
so bright.
Yeah. And just like, they got the tail and they're just it just looks beautiful. And then you get the ones where are really zippy and like, and they're flying. Yeah. People have said, well, it's got to be a fly. It's got to be a midgie or a mosquito.
Never seen a fly in our mortuary.
It's not, because I've got spray in there that controls that. The flaps, there's no way that anything can get in or out of that flap without us opening it. No. There may have been a bug or two that's got in there, but they don't do what these things do. They don't just disappear and then reappear over the other side of the room, right? No. If we had a bug infestation, then we would know about it. We would see them because they'd all die in there. We'd see it, but we don't. Plus, a lot of time flies and all that don't spark person detected via our cameras. Person detected means something has manifested to look like a person. Once again, we've got proof of that. If I say to someone, I know that you're here and you're quite powerful, can you please show yourself on these cameras tonight? Guarantee it, 90% of the time they will. But if they don't have the power to do it, then they can't, and that's okay too. Okay too, see, got that in there. Hey, you like that? That was pretty good.
That was pretty good. That was good. It took me a second, but honestly,
so it took me a couple of seconds too. I'm thinking, wow, that's good, yeah.
Also, just circling back around to the communication thing, I just want to reiterate. Circling, yep.
Why does it have to be a circle?
Squaring back round.
Yeah,
well, because I'm saying back round.
Back, yeah.
And circles around.
Back round. We can't you have an oval?
So
ovaling around?
Well, actually, yeah, ovals are around. So going back to what I was saying, or what we were saying about communication, and I just want to reiterate, because I said it, I think, in the last one that we did, we don't use Ouija boards.
Oh, no.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
No. I mean, look, I would, to be honest, if I really, really had to, we could, but I'm not going out of my way to do it. I've got one at home that I've never opened. Never, ever opened. Because you have to open You have to open the session and close the session. You can't. I remember as kids, everyone used to go, "Oh, yeah, how to do the Ouija board," and then they'd open it up, invite all of these souls to come, but never close it.
Yep.
So even though you pack the board up and you put it in your
You
cupboard,
still haven't closed it up, though.
that then opens up a portal. Now, if you just so happen to have a mirror or anything close to that, that then becomes the portal, right? It comes. They're going to be in and out of that, in and out, in and out. And you're thinking, oh,
And
I
not
want to
only
know
that-
why I've broken my leg 3 times this year.
You also don't know who you're talking to when
You
you're
have
doing
no
a Ouija
idea.
board. No idea.
Yeah, I mean, even
They could
to
be,
the
they could
point.
be disguising themselves as anything.
Yeah, I mean, even to the point of the ones that we deal with, is I'm asking questions that or these other. I've never really had anyone negative. I've had ones that have been playing games,
Yeah.
but they're being
Like
the
our mate.
deceased. Yeah,
Yeah,
they're being the
or-
deceased.
Or, you know, they could be scared or they could be nervous, but that's not always negative.
No, it's like, I don't know how do I deal with this? How do I? But yeah, like I said, the equipment and the Ouija boards and the we've got enough equipment to do that. But Ouija boards, yeah, please. And I'm sure everyone's done one in their time.
No, I've never done one.
Not but
No.
it's not something that you. And see, once again, they make Ouija boards readily available for anyone to grab.
Like I said, I don't remember if we were discussing it on the podcast, but I've got that little one, but that's all super glued shut, so that can't be used. It's literally just for
Makes all the
decoration.
difference.
Huh? Don't tell me that.
It's on her bookcase.
It is on my bookshelf. It's on my bookshelf in my rumpus room.
No. There's different rituals that you do with that. So, I mean, you could have a Ouija board out on your coffee table and nothing happens.
Yeah, just having one present doesn't
It's
mean anything's happening.
it's once you start interacting with that board, and lighting a candle.
If
and
you're just holding
just don't light a candle near that.
the little palette thing. No, I don't have any candles.
No, don't do
What's the little
I don't know. I can't remember what they call
movie thing?
that. Yeah.
If you're just holding that, you're not actually doing anything with it. Does that? Not that I hold
I
it. Like I
probably
said, it's bloody
wouldn't
glued
be.
to it, but
Yeah, I wouldn't be touching. Like if you had one on the toe, I wouldn't be playing with it.
no.
And but that once again, that's like ooh, because I could just see it in my head. Having a party, got people around having a drink. Is there any spirits? It's like no.
If that ever happened, I'd be calling you immediately to come and
It's
close
like
it for me.
no. So yeah, definitely try not to do Ouija boards.
Is there a particular way that you have to get rid of them? So if they've never
Burn
been
'em.
used, you have to burn them.
No. To get rid of a Ouija board.
Yeah, can you just chuck it in the bin or like?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Can
Cool.
throw it away. It's not like a Howard.
Like Howard.
You feel,
Can't chuck Howard out.
Howard be thy name.
Howard be thy name. That's what we call
For,
Jeebus,
for
by the
those
way.
for those that you're thinking, oh, what's he talking about? I got this gold. It's quite tall. Crucifix with Jesus on it, and I was given it by another funeral director many moons ago. And I thought, what am I going to do with this thing, right? And as time went on, I moved it from home and brought it to the office, and we have it here, and it's quite. I mean, the Jesus on it looks like
Ripped.
Chewbacca, but he's got
He's hairy, boys.
he's got the 6-pack. But the classic thing is with it, if you listen to say the Lord's Prayer or say the Lord's Prayer where it says, hallowed be thy name.
Yep.
You think it's Howard be thy name, misheard lyrics. But I can't.
My favorite song, The Lord's Prayer.
Yeah, I can't get rid of him. I tried to give him to the school wouldn't take him. And so I can't just go and put him in the bin. The only time I'd put anything like that in the bin if it was totally Jesus split in half or something like that. But you can't do that. I mean, we even have
Howard.
Cherie's sister-in-law's one here, down the back.
Yeah.
That she re-gifted back to us. Like, Merry Christmas. I can't get rid of that too. Like, how do I do that?
Cherie's sister-in-law, was that like the crucifix that was? Has she passed away?
Oh yeah, like
It was at the
20 years
crucifix
ago
that
or
was on
something.
her coffin.
No. Oh yes.
And now we've got it.
Yeah, we've got it down the back there, and I can't get rid of it. I tried to give it back to her
Why did she give it to you in the first place?
because they were cleaning out the cleaning out the shed or something.
And she said, "Oh, Howard needs a
"Yeah,
Howard needs a
here
friend."
we go." So, but I think it might go back to her.
Yeah.
I'm just going. Lots of things have been happening since Howard came.
Yeah, please take.
I don't know. I'm a big thing for residue. Residue? No, residue's the
Residue is what you were saying. So
yeah.
we've spoken about
That's
residue
right. I'm
in
thinking.
chapels and
I
mirrors and
automatically
whatnot.
thought like condensation when I did that.
I think that's just dew.
Yeah. Geez, we're all full of
all over the
brains
place.
today. But yeah, they all have history to them. That's where a lot of the antique furniture all has history to it. But I would really, some of you may have already seen like white souls, or you may have seen even a black mass or a mist, or heard voices, or smells. Smells are really, really powerful.
Yeah. There was one point, I can't remember where I was, but I was somewhere where I was completely alone in a room that just smelled like normal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, doesn't smell like anything.
Yeah.
And suddenly, out of nowhere, there was a smell of man's cologne, and I was completely by myself.
Yeah.
And it lasted about 5 minutes, then it went away.
You weren't in that black room, were you?
No. No, I wasn't.
Black
in the
room smelling of man's.
That doesn't even sound spooky anymore.
No, it doesn't. No.
Sounds like a nightclub.
Yeah.
Black room, men's cologne.
That's it. We do get a lot of activity, and I'm actually really humbled by it, for a couple of reasons, because we get to talk to them.
Yeah. And it's like it's a real privilege, like a soul spending their energy interacting with you.
The hard thing is when you try to tell people like, oh, come in and, feel this. But if people don't have a connection to it, they're less likely that these souls are going to come out and talk. I do get a bit nervous when things do start happening because you don't know how it's going to end.
Yeah.
Now, when I say I don't know how it ends, like not in a bad way, but like I don't really want to leave them there neither.
Yeah.
But they can't come home with us. They've got to stay there. We've all taken one home every once in a while, and it's like, you're not meant to be in here. Or I don't know. It's just a sense that someone's there with us. A sort of sneak through the cracks, so to speak.
Yeah. I'm not aware of anyone that I've taken home, but I'm also oblivious to everything most of the time. For those who have not met me, I'm a little bit stupid. Pretty much. Off with the fairies all the time. I'm what they would call ditzy.
So look, one of the other pieces of equipment we've got is what they call an SLS camera, and we got that out the other day. Now, a lot of souls don't like their photos getting taken or videos being taken, and it's sort of one of those ones where you gotta warm them up to it to say, hey, this is going to be a visual thing. We're actually going to see you, and you're putting it in a way like, oh, I'm not going to take a photo and put it on the internet. It's like we want to visualize you. We want to see you. We want you to touch you, all of those type of things. So this would have been the first time you would have seen this, wouldn't you?
Yeah, so that was my
SLS.
first time with the SLS, yep.
So first of all, it took us a day to get the damn thing charged. And then when we did charge it, then it just didn't want to work. Had it all working from the office down towards the mortuary. As soon as I got to the flaps of the mortuary, thing pooped itself. I went, nah, don't want to play. Then we got it started and we had a little bit of activity. But it was on you. Like you were up against the wall there and we aimed it towards you and then
mapped me
then it
out
mapped.
and then
then it didn't map you, and it went straight into this weird sort of figure.
Like geometric shapes.
Now, I could see you in the back, so I knew that it wasn't your picture. It was something else. And then it would zip away. So if it was you, then it would have just stayed with you.
Yep.
Wouldn't have moved. But these souls will go from one side of the room to the other. They go, pew, 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 pew. You know, they don't tend to stay in the same spot.
And they don't tend to stay still either.
No. So they could be sitting on your head. They could be touching your arm. They could be playing with your hair. They could be tickling your legs. They could do whatever it wants. Or you'll feel something grab at the back of your top.
I think that my most... Oh, my God, what is that?
Yeah.
Was when we had Bubs in the mortuary.
Yeah.
Her soul in the mortuary.
Yeah.
And when we hovered our hand over the table.
The heat.
No, because it was
cold. The cold, yeah.
Freezing cold where she had laid. And it was like, you know, when babies grab your finger with their entire hands. It's very cute.
Yeah.
But that's what it felt like. My fingers, all my fingers were tingling. That was the most like...
But then if you move like 30 centimetres to the left, it was normal.
Regular table temperature and
you go
no finger tingling.
Just basically where this little young bub was, it was exactly where. And we're only talking 5 or 6 inches off the table. We're not talking too much. But anywhere in that field of where she was is where that feeling was. You would have seen or heard about trigger objects. So, which means if we were to bring one of her toys in, or if we brought even the baby carrier in, now this little bub had a bit of a hard time and was in ICU for 6 days after she was born. And so she was always things beeping and people coming and going. I mean, there was love given to her, but it wasn't like what we've given, you know, on our side, separate to the parents or the nurses. So as soon as we then show love, then she wants to play. She knows, and she wants to thank us for what we've done. There's probably people on here thinking either, nah, you're just full of it or whatever, but I apologise, but that's just how it is. But everyone, like we've always said, everyone has their opinions towards it. So well done for getting this far into the podcast to find out if you don't want it.
It's the same thing that I was saying the other day off air. You and I were having a chat about faith.
Yeah.
And I think that our spirituality is very similar to people having faith in a religion or in a God, in the way that, you know, we believe in this, but we're not. I'm not forcing it down anyone's throat.
No.
You're not
so
either.
So if you don't want to believe in it, then that's fine. If you want to try to debunk it, come in and let's debunk it.
Yep.
Or let's get you out here at 2 a.m. in the morning and see if you don't poop yourself. Yeah. Because I guarantee it, if you come here at 2 a.m. in the morning
and one of those lights turns
and one
on,
of those, you will run like a little girl with your tail in between your legs. And I would be following you exactly, right? I'd be out the door with you too. No.
Oh, yeah.
So it is a different thing, but I'm quite humbled by it because we have a guy that used to work with us, Jeffrey, and I was always told by a psychic, Pat, that Jeffrey, this guy, he was like in his late 70s, and all he wanted to do was work at Bremba. That's all he wanted to do. 3 years he stalked me. And I thought, you know what? Because he saw every time I advertised, he'd be straight on it. Bang, on Seek. I don't know what he was doing on Seek. He was 70-something, you know. Anyway, got him in. Lovely, lovely guy. And I said, all right, I'll give you a go. No worries. He said, I don't want to get paid. I said, I've got to pay you. No, don't want to get paid. So we put him on the books anyway. And every time I'd pay him, he'd just refund it back. Far out. So he then worked with us for a period of time, and every time that we'd put the kettle on, bang, he'd be here. Even if he wasn't on shift, he'd be here. But he'd be wearing his Bremba top. Like, he'd go everywhere in it. And I thought, wow, that's so beautiful. But he was so humbled by me giving him a chance. And all he wanted to do was be a part of it. And he was the most gentlest guy. Like, if he saw a female walking towards a door, he'd run and go and open it. Sometimes it's like, mate, we can do it ourselves. No, I'm doing it for you because that's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Old school. Anyway, unfortunately, he got really, really sick and he passed away. And I didn't truly understand of how much he meant to me until it all happened. And Patricia, or Pat, the psychic, said, he's here, like, because she comes down every once in a while and does a thing with us in the mortuary. And he's here. He wants to be here all the time. And he's calling out to see if he can still work here, but can he do nights? Thinking, yeah, all right, if you want to do nights. So we called him the Night Watchman. Now, I know there's movies and stuff about, people in museums and night watchmen and all that, but all he wants to do is to have time here. And we've got like a photo and got his badge and
Jeff's
board here, and that's quite a good thing to know that any person that comes in here is going to be looked after by him.
Mm-hmm.
And no word of a lie, man, he would be talking their friggin' arms off. But I know he's around. And you even asked, like, is Jeff here? Like, yeah, he is. He is. And does he stay? Well, he'll go with his wife and then he'll come back. And, like, some souls have the ability to do that. Not all. Some will just maintain where they are. Mm-hmm. But the little bub, going back to that, little bub, if we show too much connection like a mum or a dad, then that bub's going to get connected to us. Yeah. So we've got to be very cautious about how we look after that person. Because they will. It's like getting a new puppy.
Or when a chick hatches.
That's right, exactly, yeah. And it's like straight to that person. I don't look like you, but that's okay. You're it. Yeah. So you got to be very cautious with that. But I'm glad, that she was able to come out and show us that she was there. And same with this other gentleman that came out. And there's going to be more and more of that. It's going to get stronger. It's going to be lighter. It's going to be maybe nothing. And you think, yeah, I feel the energy, but why aren't they doing anything? Just because they've passed doesn't mean they have the ability to do it. Like, if they can't physically do it, then they've got to ask someone to do it. Now, it depends on their guardians and where they're at, is if something is going to be able to help them. If they've pissed someone else off when they've gone, maybe not. I don't know. I can't answer it because it's after. We also then do get the souls that just want to maintain, just want to stay there. Mm-hmm. It's like cemeteries. There's stories of children running around the cemeteries, that have died when they've been 3 or 4 or 5. We've always been talking about, the Victorian days of, kids dying maximum up to 6 years of age or something. And imagine that. Like, if you could physically see kids running around, like just playing.
Can you imagine? You know how often preteens are fighting with each other?
Yeah.
Imagine if you and your preteen ghost bestie had a fight and you're still stuck in the same cemetery together for the rest of eternity.
I'm not talking to you.
I'm not talking to you.
Oh my God. Go over on your side of the headstone.
This is my plot.
Yeah.
Or you know what would be so cute? And I just got this image. Kids who are buried with their parents or their parents are buried on top of them. Can you imagine them asking if they can go to the neighbour's plot to play with their kid?
Please come home at midnight.
Please come home at dusk.
The other thing, just quickly, because I know we're nearly at 50 minutes, but the other thing was, why is it that all the paranormal activity tends to happen at night? Could you answer that?
Oh, I have quite a few theories. Because we're not around. Because they can draw power from the moon.
Yeah.
Because
What happens if the cow runs away with the spoon?
Oh, hey, diddle,
The
diddle,
dish.
the cat and the fiddle.
Yeah, and the cow jumped over the moon.
The little one laughed. The
little
dog
dog
laughed
laughed,
to see such fun, and the dish
ran away with the spoon.
Yep.
Yeah,
I haven't heard that one in
there
years.
you go. A bit of a nursery rhyme for
Since
you
my
all.
childcare days. As a child, not an educator.
I was like, what are you doing, you little pup? Get out of the way. Yeah. So, yeah, draw power from the moon, yeah.
Yep, draw power from the moon. There's nobody else around. Jeff pays him $5 to come out and play.
Yeah, you got your money. I don't need your money. Here you go. Well, the other side of it is too that they're pretty much all out all the time in certain parts. The only difference is it's quiet. No one else is around.
Yeah.
So if we were to go and like what we normally do of an afternoon, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the afternoon, we go down there and turn all the lights off and bang. So why are they coming in at that time? And it's not night time.
That's true, because they're not, I mean, especially, yeah, actually, because they're not buzzing around when I'm, or when we're working on somebody or taking care of somebody.
But see, they could be floating around or up the top or...
Yep. They're not setting off sensors though. I've not had one set off a sensor while
but
I've
you
been...
you will occasionally see the lights flicker. Yeah. So I can go in there and I can say
of lights flickering than I am of the sensors, to be honest.
If I say, I can feel you, I know you're here, can you make that light flicker? And then it goes click, click, click. You
Is
go,
that the noise it makes?
well, yeah. I say, can you do it again? And it goes So it's not doing it all the time, but to do it on demand, that's you can't tell me that that's not the power company. Go, demand, press the button.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, drawing power is a big thing as well. But yeah, it's quiet. We don't have road noise. We don't have people noise. We don't have anything. A lot of times, souls are actually scared of the day, and they all come out normally at night time.
Well, yeah, because usually when we go out down and we, say our good nights and we close everything up, that's when we've been having a lot of the activity.
Yeah, it all happens then.
Yep.
And that's when they feel comfortable to do it. But you could be in there and have the equipment out and it'll probably go off. But the other element to it is, because society has always classed horror movies and everything in the dark, like you never have a horror movie where it's like out in the sunshine.
No.
It's all about, dark corridors and, like bedrooms and, yeah, all sorts of stuff. So I think society's put it like that too, made it out to be something, but they will come out and you can feel them at any time, but majority of the time it's, nighttime.
Yeah.
That's probably good because then you're getting a true account of any noise that happens, especially if you're using like digital recorders. You don't want to hear like forklifts and, people banging out lunch orders and I have a cheese toasty. Yeah.
Chris, the coffee man, beeping his
beeping his horn. Yeah, I'll get what do you have? A oak. Bleh, what do you get?
It depends on the day.
Oak milk, whatever.
At the moment, I've been liking oat vanilla chais, and Chris makes a good one.
Yeah.
I'm also, his name is Chris, right?
It is.
Okay, beautiful. I've been calling him Chris, and I was like, I'm pretty sure his name is Chris, but
it's Chris.
you called him John the other day.
Yeah. Huh?
It was a joke, but I was like, is his name John?
John?
I know we're joking, but is it John? I was never formally introduced, so I've just assumed this whole time.
That's Chris. Yeah. Yeah. So look, please go and have a look at our TikTok.
Got some spooky things.
Yeah, Bremba family funerals, and you will see some. There's a lot that I don't put up because, look, I do get some negative comments about it, but you know what? I know it's there. I know that we're looking after them, and that's really special to us. So, but if you do have any any thoughts or anything else that you want to hear, then jump onto our socials and let us know what you think. The other side that we do have is on a Sunday night on TikTok, I go live. So it's called Let's Chat About Death, or Sundays with Bremba, 8:30, and that's Melbourne Victorian time. So depending on when you're listening to this, if there's a daylight saving involved or not. But yeah, come and join us and have a good time talking about all things spooky and kooky and whatever. So yeah, there you go.
There you are.
Yeah.
Paranormal stuff.
Well, I think we're going to wrap it up now because I'm a bit dry now.
And it's also almost home time.
Yeah. Oh, it's all about going home, isn't it? Yeah.
I'm excited. I got dogs at home.
Well, thank you very much, Annie, for that.
Thank you.
For whatever you did there today.
Yep.
And thank you, everyone, for listening. Hope you've enjoyed this episode, and we'll try to come up with some more ideas and maybe story time next time about our different experiences along the way. But we'll play with that as we go along.
And if you've got anything that you would like us to talk about, shoot us a message on our socials.
Yeah, that'd be great. All right. Yeah. Okay.
Bye.
Okay.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Ta-ta. Bye-bye.